All right, you guys, we're here. We made it. We've made so many of these mini models. They're just like floating all over my home right now. We're ready to start on our final one. At least I think we're ready, right? Did you draw up your design? Hopefully you have. You can see that, hold this up a little bit better. My design here, I used what you're seeing above. I found that image. I was like, that's really cool. And really, if I look at it, all that is some quadrilaterals shaped like a kite, right? 5 of them on top. And then on the bottom, it's going to be 5 pentagrams plus the bottom for a 6th one. So let's look over here at my drawing. You can see the darker one, that's kind of showing the actual shape. And so I'm going to need 5 of these kite-shaped quadrilaterals. And then for the pentagons, I'm going to also need 5, but we can't forget, we'll need them for the bottom as well. So that would give me a 6th one. Okay, I've measured it out. Like, I've actually made sure, get my ruler here, that all those sides are the same. So that's 5 inches and 5 inches. These are 2 inches. And of course, since this is 2 inches, these are going to have to be 2 inches, right? Because they need to be able to connect. So we're kind of doing all that math. Once again, art is amazing because we're taking all the content we learn from other subjects and we're applying it. And in this case, we're seeing that with our math, right? So I know that I need to make 5 of these, 6 of those. I know how long they're going to be, and I've also calculated out that I will have enough skewers because I can actually make 1 1/5 pentagons out of each skewer. So that means I'm going to need about 5 skewers to make the bottom. I've got plenty, basically. So I'm really excited about that. I know it's going to work. So here we go. You can see I actually already made a couple of the pentagons just to kind of show you guys that. If you need to save on skewers, let's say you're like really close, like I could make this, but it's going to be tight if I make any mistakes. I might run out of skewers. I have something I can show you guys, and well, I'll give you the explanation here, but probably explain that a couple times. So you can see that I'm going to make 6 pentagons, right? However, if I wanted to save on skewers, because my measurements are really close and all that, you can probably tell that when I'm connecting my skewers right now, I'm going to have like a double wall, right? It's going to connect here. It's also going to, I'm going to have a double wall when I connect it to my kite up here. So to save on skewers, one thing you could do is build it all together, and so like instead of, let me see if I can take this apart without entirely breaking it. I just want to show you what I mean though. So instead of having this one, instead of needing 5 sides, I could essentially glue it here like that. And that's going to save me some skewer length if I need to. So up to you. The problem with that is it is going to be a little bit trickier to assemble. One of my pro tips though is don't be afraid to ask for help holding some of these trickier parts. So if you've got somebody that can kind of help you when it comes to gluing everything together and assembling, I think it won't be a problem. If you don't have anyone to help you, doing it this more basic way is going to be a little bit easier when it comes to assembly time. So you got to kind of pick and choose which way is going to work best for you and for your lantern. But I just wanted to throw out that option as well. Okay, so here we go. Let me just show you from the beginning what we're doing. Let me make one of these. I haven't made one of the kites for the demo yet, so we are going to be cutting. So you know what that means. All right. So it was 5 inches, 5 inches, 2 inches. I am taking my ruler. This is not like, oh yeah, we'll just guess. No. This is math, people. We are not guessing. We are making sure this is accurate. I've got my ruler. Here's 5 inches. I'm going to, that's why we wore goggles. If that would have flung up towards my eye, ouch, that would not have felt good. Let me go grab that. And I'm back. Okay. So there was one 5-inch skewer. Here is the other one. See that one flinging too. All right. I should be able to get one of these 2-inch pieces out of here, but I'll have to use another skewer to get that last 2-inch piece, but that's okay. I've done my calculations. I know I'm going to be fine. So here's that last bit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would not use the pointed end for your project. It's going to be, as you can imagine, it's thinner, right? So it's going to be harder to get all those to glue together in a way that's meaningful, that's going to hold tight. So just be considerate of that. I'm just going to grab, for sake of time for this video, here's another 2-inch piece that I already pre-cut. And since all my cutting is done for the moment, we'll put that away. You'll notice that I put a piece of parchment paper over the top of my picture. That way I can make sure that I've got all the angles are correct and everything's looking good. Okay, so that's a smart thing to do, and plus then it will release easily for you. I wish that my hot glue gun had a little bit longer cord here. I'm going to actually flip this around just to make it easier for me to get at with the hot glue gun for our demo here. Okay, so we're going to glue these two together up here. So one of the pro tips also says circle your glue gun to avoid those hairs, right? So this, when you see that, here's what I mean. I'm going to put my glue on. Then when I'm done, I'm going to circle it like this. When you do that, it's going to avoid those long draping hairs that kind of get in the way and sometimes tug it out of shape, which we don't obviously want. So that could help if you're running into issues with that. Try to get that a little closer. I noticed as I moved it, it kind of shifted a bit. So there we go. And grab my other 2-inch ones. Start with this guy over here. Once again, I'm going to get the glue down and then swirly. And a little soft serve ice cream cone. Might need a little more on the inside there. There we go. And last couple of glue spots here. And one of the beautiful things about this hot glue, as you know, even once it dries, it does have a little bit of flexibility, right? So if everything isn't quite 100% perfect, we're going to be able to have that bit of wiggle room to make it all work. So, but we're looking for something like that. Now, you can see I need to make 5 more of these. This could take some time, right? I need to make 5 more of these. I need to make 6 of these. So I just did the same thing down here with my pentagon. I put a piece of parchment paper over the top and assembled that, right? So it shouldn't matter what way I turn it. Those are all 2 inches. So it should, oopsies, you can't see that very well. All line up like that. Okay, so I'm going to get a good start on this. I would probably say, we want to get over half of the shapes made. So maybe like 2/3 of the shapes made. We've got 2 days to assemble our lantern. So if you get over half of your shapes made today, like 2/3 or so of them, you can finish the other third or so next time, plus the actual assembling of it all to make that skeleton structure of our lantern. All right, so pro tips once again, make sure the skewers that you cut for each section, can't talk today, are exactly the same length. Hold them next to each other to verify that. Measure twice, cut once. You only have 14 skewers to work from, so we don't want to make any mistakes. Circle your glue gun to avoid those hairs on it. Trim off any excess globs, which actually that part, let me show you real quick. Is this ready to lift up? Probably pretty close. So you can see here, I do have some hairs. I can kind of pick those off. We do want to keep this clean. We didn't care so much about that when it came to our mini models because they were just for practice, but this is our final one. We want to make sure this looks good. Let me scooch this out of the way. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better than with the black background. So you can see my globs there, right? That's not really working so well. So I can take my scissors and cut that off. Be careful, we don't want to like destroy this. But just trim off those edges. You might also see like, oh, on the back end, you know, maybe there's not quite enough glue holding it together, giving strength on the reverse side. So you can always just add a little bit more glue there too. Trust me, it's better to take your time doing a good job on assembling all these pieces than rushing through just to try to throw together your full lantern in one day. So take your time with this, have patience with yourself, give yourself grace, all that kind of stuff. But we really want it to look professional and polished. Even cut the inside bits too if there's some pieces that are lingering on the inside. Just kind of going back and forth here. You can see it's flexing. That's okay though. It's flexing, but it's not falling apart. That's what we want. Okay, and you can see how much cleaner that looks when we're taking off all of, oops, that's still wet. I forgot I added that little extra bit to it. But how much cleaner it looks like that. And then finally, once it comes time to assembling this, don't be afraid to ask for an extra set of hands from a family member or neighbor, or whoever is willing to help out and has some steady hands to help you with. That's going to be more relevant next class once we start assembling this and putting all these pieces together. But something to maybe start asking around and seeing if anyone might be able to help you when it comes to that stage of our lantern building. All right, so we've got 2 days to start getting these pieces together, and I can't wait to see how these start to come together.